These are most of the boxes that I had to get just to build this computer here. What is up, guys? You're probably wondering, why do I have this massive box of stuff here right in front of me? I am going to try to build my uncle a editing PC. Actually, the computer that I'm using currently for the past 4 years, I didn't build it. A couple of my friends helped me build it. I retained some of the information in my head on how to build a PC. What's up, guys? I have not vlogged like this in a little while. So I am in my office right now, and this took me a while. I spent an entire day trying to put this thing together. This is an editing computer that I built for my uncle. I try to put really basic pieces in it. Is a very old graphics card, my first graphics card from like 4 years ago, which is even older than that. It's a Radeon 380 in there, VS 450 power supply. Oh god, I'm so stupid. I'm still very new to building PCs. The PC that's under there, I'm still trying to figure this out. I did this last night. This is not the final thing. I did not know that certain motherboards take certain processors. So I have a Core i3 that because I upgraded to a Core i7, and I thought that I could take the Core i7 and put it into an AMD motherboard. That the motherboard just said, nope. Core i3, very, very old processor. So I guess, because I know with the part, so there's the little triangle, and you line it up with another triangle, and I think I see it here. Just drop that. That felt kind of hard. How does this stay in there? Does this even fit? Because look how big this is. This one's much smaller here. So I don't know if these are compatible at all. That sucks. It looks like this processor is not compatible at all. So I had to go on Amazon and spend like another $180 on a Ryzen chip, a Ryzen 5. I decided to get the better chip instead of getting a different motherboard, because if he wanted to upgrade this, he just had to switch out the graphics card instead of getting a whole new motherboard and all this other stuff. But totally worth it. And I did one of the biggest sins that you should not do as you build a computer, is that I built the whole thing and I just left the panels off. These are actually magnetic here. I really like this case. The only thing I don't like is that very clacky buttons. Mine's is a very soft push on that one, but this one super clacky. There's no RGB or anything in here. That's why I didn't really turn it on. The only light that's in there's like I think it's supposed to be like the light for the motherboard. Tell you it's on. There's like a little orange light, and that's it. So I did one of the dumbest things is that I put it together, left the side panels off, and I tried to see if it would post. So anyone who doesn't build computers, the rule of thumb is that you want to put the right piece together without the case and see if it would post. And post, it's like an acronym meaning that it turns on. Actually, let me sit down. So I hooked the whole thing up. It would not post at all, and I went through the procedure. It's the power supply was on, all this other stuff. I started removing things, putting it back on. Also, this thing, the cooler, I don't know if I should pick this up at all. The cooler on here, this was a bitch to put on. I had to constantly put it back on, and it doesn't really hold on that well. Like you feel like you're gonna break the motherboard, which is one of the worst things, because you could put the whole thing together, and if you damage one thing on the motherboard, the whole thing could just be shot and just not work. I thought I took everything out, I plugged everything back in. Nothing was working. I undid everything, put it back together. I looked up Linus tech tip videos, and a few other ones were saying, because this one actually has 4 RAM slots, and I had to remove one piece of RAM, put it in every single slot. That didn't do anything. I eventually, for some reason, I undid my computer, and because I had the speaker, if I have it here. So this is a speaker right here. So this little piece right here, the speaker's here. You plug this into a very specific part of the computer. So I don't know if this is also in pre-builts. Once you hit the power button, you usually hear like a little beep on your computer. That is to tell you a code. So one short beep is usually that it works. Sometimes it will give you like one short beep, 2 long beeps. It's a code that you gotta look up. It's saying that your RAM's not in all the way. It's missing something not in correctly. So usually when it posts correctly, you just get a simple beep and it turns on. I took this out of my computer, put into this one. I got a single short beep, which means it works. Still, the screen would not turn on. The computer, all the components, nothing. When I first built my computer, this thing would not post like at all. It would turn on with all the lights and RGB and everything, and then immediately shut right off. And it just kept doing that. And my buddy, it was actually this old RAM, because we actually looked it up, is that he took it out and forced it right into the motherboard, that it posted. So these RAM sticks are very difficult to get in there. I eventually started taking pieces out. I undid the graphics card, seated it back in there, and I decided, because it could either be that 1 or 2 of the RAM slots are dead, or all of them were dead, which probably was one of the things I was thinking. But I actually took out my RAM sticks, just one. It was a Trident Z, and I placed it into one of the slots there, and the screen came on. So I don't know what happened, but it just turned on, and it started to post and everything. I had Windows set up on a USB, and that's another story also with the Windows. I'm gonna get right to that. So I wanted to make 100% sure if it was actually the RAM that wasn't working. So I removed my RAM from this computer, and I put back in the HyperX in here, and then it posted again. So I don't know what it was. What I think what it was is, actually, let me take, you guys get a better view of this. I removed my RAM, put it back in there, and then it posted. I think what the problem was is that the graphics card wasn't seated correctly, because I did take that out and put that back in also in the PCIe. Probably wasn't in there correctly either, because I undid the whole thing and put it back in. Also, I was really confused because I swear on my life, this one here, the CPU cord from the power supply, it looked like it would not fit into the computer, the little slot that it had for it, because I kept making sure so I won't damage any of the pins that they all matched up. Also, don't make fun of me for all the cable management and all this other stuff. I tried to clean up as much as I could. It was really ugly. I just had a whole intestine of cords just all here. I tried to cable the 24 pin. I put it back here, and it came out here, but it would not fit in here. I did not want to damage that slot because you could actually have it bend and snap right off. Yeah, that's the most annoying thing about this, is that a lot of the cables are very thick and braided, so they're very hard to bend. Like, to get that CPU cord up there, that was, oh god, that was, I don't even want to really talk about it. Fans fit on there correctly. Let's see. I should actually fix this because it looks like this is leaning like a lot. Actually, I need to put a screw in there. I'll be back in a second. Honestly, don't know if this screw goes in here, but it looked like it fit, and it was an extra one from the box, so. If the audio sounds different, I flipped the mic around so you could hear me a little bit better. But yeah, it would like with the stock cooler, but I saw the one that AMD had. It was much better. It's like one of those thick, bigger ones with the actual like smaller metal chassis on it. But the one I had was that cheap plastic one that came with i3s. The RAM here, this has 4 slots, only threw 2 in there, so there's only 8 gigabytes of RAM. He's not going to use all of it, and I don't even, he's not going to use all of it. He's going to do very basic editing. He's not going to know how to use After Effects. He's not really going to know how to use Premiere or anything, but yeah, it's just going to be 8 gigabytes of RAM that I actually put, this is a 120 gigabyte SSD, and behind here was really cool. Behind this entire build, right behind the motherboard, is actually a 1 terabyte hard drive. So SSDs go here, hard drive goes back there. And I really like how this is built in like right here. I tried to clean it up. Looking back at it, I didn't really do that great. There are just wires all over the place in this. And I think that's basically it. What was in this PC and everything. It took me about like 8 hours to put this together, and then like another like 2 or 3 hours to like set up Windows and everything. But yeah, I'm actually really proud of this for my first like solo build. Alright, so I have mentioned the Windows problem that I had. So if you don't know this, is that when you build a computer, you have to still buy a copy of Windows. But Microsoft actually does give you a free copy of Windows 10, but they don't have a watermark saying you would have to activate Windows, and you can't personalize the computer, which would annoy people like me that would go out and spend the money. But Windows is very expensive. Like for the operating system, it's like $100, but if you want like the Pro, it's like $200. It's like insane prices. I went and I bit the bullet because I was very skeptical of places like Kingwin and G2A, because they're not black market sites. They're called gray markets because some of the products could be bought with stolen credit cards, and all of them are sold from people who get them from other countries where the keys are much cheaper in their region, and they resell them to like Americans around the world. It's a kind of a shady website. I did get mine from Kingwin. I didn't know who they were, but the website looked really sketchy, and my friends actually set it up for me, and the Windows worked, so I didn't really question it all too much. So I decided to go to Amazon and try to get the Windows 10 home and get the key from them, and I downloaded the operating system onto my USB, and I was waiting for the key to be mailed to my house. And I had it for a little while. I set the whole thing up, things started to post, and I typed in the code, activation key would not work. Went back, typed it in again, activation key wouldn't work. Tried it another time, did not work. And so I decided to go back onto Amazon and like see if anyone else had the problem from that same seller. And I thought I got it from someone else, but I realized that it had like 1.5 stars, and it was saying that this key, all the keys that this person kept selling were completely invalid. So there's this asshole online literally selling people fake keys and try to get $100 out of it. And what I did immediately was I issued a return, put a 1-star review, and had to drive like half an hour to the closest UPS store to return it because Kohl's is closed at this moment. Kohl's or Marshall's, wherever you can return Amazon packages. But yeah, that really frustrated me. and I decided to ask one of my friends the best place to go, and he's told me a good seller on G2A, and I decided to buy it there because you could go to a reputable like website like Amazon and still get scammed, and it was much cheaper there too. I don't know. I feel kind of bad about it, but like $100 for an operating system, it's a lot. After being a scam for $100, I really can't trust anyone. Alright guys, that's all from me. I would suggest definitely try to build a computer, but try to do something within your budget. There's like hundreds, if not like thousands of like great build videos or suggestions of what you should build. But this one, not gaming, just editing. Haven't edited anything on it because I'm waiting for my uncle to get his Adobe license and all this other stuff. But yeah, highly suggest it, especially at this time where everyone's stuck home and you always thought about building a gaming PC. Definitely do it. It's very time consuming, it's very nerve-wracking, but it's not too difficult if you're very careful and you know what you're doing. So that is all from me, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.